Hello, this is part 2 of my how I plan on a monthly, weekly and daily basis. This is going to be the weekly. I sort of ran out of time to do it as one video because all of my videos are longer than I expect, so here is the weekly. The last thing you saw was my monthly view with all of these recurring tasks put into the specific days that I need to do them. I forgot to say that I have the key to what the numbers mean on here, so that's how I know exactly what tasks I've got to do. Okay, so on my monthly I have everything that I have pre-planned for the next week to do specifically on what day, or to do generally during the month. If I needed to write anything with more detail, I'd either write it on a post-it note and stick it here, or I have a little section here where I can write them. And I did actually start one like that for July, but this is always a work in progress. There's always things that I'm going to be modifying if I don't think they're working, so obviously that sort of stayed there and I haven't really done anything with it. So I'll just show you what I've done at the moment, and in future if I do change anything I will tell you in another video. Okay, so how I plan my week is that I use a Dodo Pad Mini insert, so it's this one. They come in a spiral bound planner, and Dodo Pad's brilliant. It's really fun and cute and colourful, and it's got little cartoons and jokes and poems and limericks. Each page, it's like a, let me show you. So ignore this bit. You have the left side is for notes and the right side is a grid with weeks going across like that, but you can use each square for something, and each left page has something funny on it, and each right page is decorated, and they're both the same theme. So it did come in a spiral bound, and I've got the rest of them here, and all I do is I've pulled apart the spiral here and I take it off and I trim off this side, and then I stick it in with washi tape temporarily. I take them out after I finish with them and I put them back in the box, and they're really fun. They're a little bit shorter than A6, but other than that they're perfect. So I use this and it's really good. I use it as a week on one page. It is tiny, but it's no smaller than some inserts you get, and you can always use the space around the edge. You can customise how you use the different columns or write across the several boxes like I do, and I've just started putting my weekly tasks and things like that in specific boxes. So I'm developing how I'm using it because I'm working out how I can use both the lines across and the boxes distinctly. So I've got 4 weeks in here. I was only using 1 week in here, but now I've got 4, and it's better for forward planning. It gives me more space than just using the monthly planner. The monthly planner for me is good to see things on a monthly view, but it's also mainly just for forward planning. So I wouldn't necessarily plan anything during the current week on this, during the current month on this view. I'd more likely plan it in my Dodo Pad inserts because I've got 4 weeks in there. But anything of the future months in the year, I would plan it on here. So what I do is I look at the current month in my monthly planner, and I take any appointments I've got here. I always use the top couple of lines for appointments. Appointments, occasions, all-day events, that sort of thing. I haven't got many of them this month. What I have got is that I'm off on Monday, off work, I start earlier on Thursday the 13th. My brother's birthday is on the 9th and my dog's birthday is on the 19th. So then I will go over to the current week. I only do it on the current week. So even though there's these forward planning things, I'm just looking at this week. And I write on the Dodo Pad. And this is the great thing about this dashboard, is that it flips out in a number of different ways. I can now open up my monthly planner to this month, if it will fit under the legs of the tripod, there we go, and plan with the week and the month. I will write, I've got annual leave on Monday and that my brother's birthday is on Sunday. So there you go, that's what I've done. And then I will transfer this week's recurring tasks. So I have put them in this column here, and I've only put the number. I haven't even colour coded because I tend to just use a black pen and I come back and colour code later. But not on this grid. I colour code on the bullet journal later with my pens because I don't have them with me all the time. So I've just transferred the number, and then I can use this flip out here, this one, to know exactly what it is. So I'll come back to that when I plan for the day. And I've also put in this right hand column here what subject I'm supposed to be doing in my hobbies that day. So MS is museum studies, and then on Thursday I want to do my novel, on Friday I want to do my museum studies dissertation, and on Saturday I want to do some Egyptology work, and on Sunday I haven't planned anything because it's day off. But I've got a load to do, so it isn't really a day off. So then if I've got any other to-dos for that week, so for example on the 14th I've got something to do, I'll transfer that over onto here as well. And also my reminders, so anything from the current week on the monthly page I transfer over. So that is fairly straightforward. And then I have this. So we'll ignore this right page, that's for next week, that's not relevant. This is a new thing I've just done today. It's basically the same as what I was doing in my old week on one pages plus notes. It's the notes section. It's, you know, to-dos, reminders, things like that about the relevant week. So it's where I plan things out and write notes or whatever, have a to-do list. But the things that I put into it come from what is coming up that week, but also some other things. So in the back of my notebook I have my collections pages. These are my planning pages. So I've got several different pages, but the relevant ones are my near future to-dos, ideas or projects, my random to-dos, my currently list, and my upcoming list as well. So I then take stuff that is on these lists and work out what is relevant for this week or what I really need to focus on this week from those lists and write it down on here. So my upcoming list is something new. When you've got something that is coming up, say in 2 months time or 6 weeks time, it's not always easy to keep it in mind because it is so far in the future. But if it's something that's big that you've got to prepare for example, I'm going back to university, I can't just leave it until you start planning the month that that thing is going to be during. So say it's halfway through September and you only remember it when you flip to September's pages at the end of August and you're like, oh no, it's in 2 weeks time and I've forgotten about it and I could have been preparing for it for a month and a half already. So this page is going to be a list of all the things, important things that are coming up in the near future or possibly in the far future that I have got to prepare for beforehand. So I'll cross them out once they've been and gone, but this is my upcoming list. And I transfer this to here, the relevant ones. So for example, my brother's birthday and a house viewing that we've got some people coming around to look at our house on Friday, and I put T minus. You know when they had the space rockets launching, they'd go T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I've got 7 days until my brother's birthday. I've got 5 days until the house viewing. So each day I will cross that off and then I'll put 6. Cross it off, put 5. So that I have in really in the front of my eyes a sort of alarm flashing at me to say, look, you've only got 3 days left, 2 days left, 1 day left, because I can live in denial and pretend things aren't happening. And then I don't prepare for them. So I really need it blatantly obvious in front of me that those things are coming up soon. And then I go to my other lists, for example, my near future to-dos, my currently page, and also my random to-dos, but not so much because those aren't important. And I pick off things that either I need to do quite soon or I should do. For example, the things towards the top of the list I've really been putting off since May, and that's really bad, so I need to do those. So I picked off a couple of bits I know that I'll get round to doing because I look at my time, I know how much energy I've got, I know what days that I'm working and all that stuff, and I factor them in to my week with a realistic idea of how much I'll be able to get done. I don't do it unrealistically. Obviously there's things I won't get around to doing, and I may have some spare time during the week, so you can always add things, but don't feel bad if you don't get around to doing things, because there's so much other stuff that can get in the way during your week. So I do it realistically, so I've put them on here as well as a to-do list, and I've got some other bits and bobs I need to do this week as well. So that's how I plan my week. I also pull forward any to-dos that I didn't get around to doing in the last couple of weeks that are still sitting on my daily pages, and I've put them in my to-do list as well. And then I plan my day really simply by taking things that are on my Dodo Pad for that day and putting them into my bullet journal for that day, and things that are on my weekly list which I really should get round to and put them on there. And if I have to keep on rolling them over because I didn't get round to them that day, then I'll do that, that's fair enough. I'll get round to them eventually. Hopefully I'll get them done by the end of the week, and if I don't, I'll carry them over to next week. If there's something that's urgent, I definitely prioritise them. And the great thing about this bullet journal is that if I need a lot of space, I can fill a whole page or 2 pages. If I don't need much space at all, if I've only got one to do, I can just use 1 line. If I have got days when I haven't really got anything that I need to actually write down, either because I've got nothing to do or because I'm really busy that I don't even have time to do planning, which is what happened this week, I can just skip days. So there I've got one Monday and then I've got the next Friday because I didn't write Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday down because I was so busy. So yeah, and then I just write the next day. So it's really straightforward, really simple. I love it and I will keep using it. So thank you for watching, and I'll update you on a new video when any changes happen. I'm going to be doing another video in a minute on my One Book July summary. So thank you for watching. Bye!